heavy strength. Mr. Zigo. Mr. Zigo. Good day. Good day to you, sir. There's 2 people in here today.
I got the no-no.
It just takes a second. That movie Speak No Evil, you said isn't a sequel or a remake, is actually an American remake of a Danish movie. So zero original movies then. It went from 1, and we called it like the most tragically trope-ridden film ever from the trailer, to now it's just like, no, that's a remake. Major heat dome in Iowa. How's the heat there? Not horrible. It's gonna go up this week, but it's been great this last like 5 days. It's been in the 80s and stuff. But yeah, we heat domed for like 2 months this summer. I'd say like mid-June through August, through mid-August is we heat domed complete, like nonstop. So hot that like at night you'd sweat. And it looks like we're heading back there now.
Not too bad. It's only supposed to peak at 102, and then it's going to get down to the high 90s.
Only 102. Yeah.
After this summer, anything below 110 is like, or 109.
Yeah.
If it's low hundreds,
Yeah.
feels like a blessing. There's something about, like, once you get over 105, that's when it starts getting real and brutal.
Yeah.
But, again, that's based on our humidity. There's places where even 90 would be unbearable, depending on the humidity and shit.
Yeah. Mythically accurate Thor. Is Thor supposed to be a chonk?
I don't know.
People,
I don't know much about.
I honestly think
it's
just people who saw Endgame where Thor had retired and he was doing nothing but eat and play video games and he was fat for a while.
I don't know. We'd have to look into Norse mythology.
I guess so, huh?
The thing about mythology, too, is because it wasn't, like, rigid, like a religious text, there's so many contradictory things about each of the gods and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Greek mythology is really bad. Like, there'll be, like, 3 different stories that are contradictory about one thing.
Yeah. In God of War, he is fat. Wait a minute. We're talking about Thor? Thor is in God of War now? And he's a fat guy? That's cool. Yeah. I haven't played the new God of Wars, so... you know. I know. I know. He's built like a strong man?
Yeah, this is the God of War Ragnarok Thor.
Okay, well, I can see what you guys are saying if that's the case.
Yeah.
He's a chonker. Yeah, every time a fat beardy guy comes out, I get called it for like
Here's
6 months.
Here's a better one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he is built like me. Damn. Thor has fiery red hair. He also is well muscled. Yeah. You got me, bud. I'm not the one that said it, okay? I don't think I look anything like Thor at all. Old man, go away. Are you wishing me youth? Old man, go away. No. This old man, he doesn't leave. He stays right up in your feed with a smoke, smoke, sip, sip. Man from Thor to old man. I know, dude. People just, sometimes the very vision of me is controversial to people. I could just sit here like this and let this run, and I feel like there would be controversy about me in the chat. Yes, I'm married. My beautiful wife is sitting right here with me. See?
We do not live in sin.
Nope. Made an honest woman out of her. You're more Tom Bombadil than a god of thunder. I'd like to think so. More of a jolly fellow than a warlike fellow. Although Tom Bombadil will fucking kill you. He's the most powerful thing on Middle Earth. He's literally an aspect of nature itself. For ticket of Emirates airline flight Pakistan to America. Huh? Do you want to kill me? Are you coming here from Pakistan because you're angry at me? Don't do that. And why's it got to be Emirates? That's expensive. You got to fly the most expensive fucking airline to come see me? That's fucked up, bro. Did you ever visit Pakistan? I would love to, yeah. There's literally nowhere on this planet that I wouldn't visit under the right circumstances, right? Like, I don't know that I would want to go in the middle of, like, civil unrest and shit in Pakistan, and I know that's very common there, but from everything I've seen, and this is just true, like, the world over from what I find, it's like people, their governments can suck, and there might be civil unrest and stuff, but like people tend to be really welcoming to other people. You know? They tend to like really enjoy when people come to experience their way of life and stuff. And you know, I feel like that area of the world, when I watch these travel vlogs and stuff, it stands out, right? India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, like these places, the people in them just seem like overflowing with like smiles and fun and like, good food and great culture and stuff. Like all of that stuff draws me, but I don't know how safe it would be to go to that area of the world right now, and so I probably won't. What about North Korea? Dude, now that they've opened that up, you can't tell me you're not curious. open North Korea to tourism. They've done it in the past, but they've done it again. So it's now completely, you don't have to do the shady go to Chongqing and like bribe somebody at the airport to let you on a fucking flight to North Korea. Now there's flights from, you know, connecting flights from anywhere in Western China all the way down to fucking North Korea. And all you need is your passport, you know, so you, as an American citizen, if you wanted to go to North Korea, you would fly to China, and then your passport would get you onto a plane to North Korea. You'd show up there, you'd be in a tour group. 100% they're desperate for money. 100%. And opening up your country, especially an enigma country, like an enigmatic country like North Korea, opening that up to saying like, hey, it's safe for you to come here. We welcome you. We'll give you a big, you know, you'll be in a big tour group. You don't get to go off the res. You got to follow the rules, but hey, we'll have you. Like, that's a good way to make some money. They'd take you on a very, because there are beautiful things in North Korea. Like they've got this beautiful underground railroad, or not underground railroad, like a subway with subway stations and stuff in Pyongyang. They'll take you to that. They'll take you to the big shrine of Kim Il-sung, let you lay flowers at it. They might take you to, you know, a couple other places, carefully selected places with employees and stuff that are carefully coached to be a certain way and to smile and to,
stores stocked in a certain way.
Yeah, stores look overstocked. And like one of the crazy things that happened in the Vice documentary back in the, like, I don't know, it was 2006 or something that they and this was before, you know, this was back when North Korea was not open to Western tourism at all. The main guy at Vice, Shane, went over there, snuck in through the Chongqing connection. And they give you a tour guide. And one of the things he said, it was like every meal that they gave him, it was almost like they wanted to project overabundance. Mm-hmm. But so they would fill, you know how like Asian food will come in like small dishes so everybody can grab a little bit, yeah. You know what I mean? So they would bring out a ton of those dishes and cover the table with it for just him and his camera guy. Mm-hmm. And they'd be sitting in this big dining room, and it looks like the restaurant is fully staffed. Waiters are just standing around looking at them and stuff. And the food on the table is almost inedible. It's just, he described it as matter. Yeah. He was like, it's just like deep fried ribbons of fat and, you know, like desiccated vegetables and like a green salad with no dressing. And like, he's like, it's literally just matter in the bowls, but it's meant to project like, whoa, look at this abundance. We give you so much food, you couldn't eat it in 2 or 3 settings, but there's nobody else there. That whole crew is going to leave as soon as you leave. Mm-hmm. They're there for your benefit. It's wild. Mm.
Yeah, the sanctions are so, like, they're obviously not working. We've been sanctioning them for fucking 40, 50 years now.
Well, see, here's the thing. They're working in the case that, like, them opening up to tourism and stuff means that they need money. Yeah. Like, the sanctions are working, but what do sanctions do? They starve the populace. Mm-hmm. Kim Jong-un isn't losing weight. He's eating just fine. His luxury is assured. His people suffer the brunt of the sanctions. That's why I'm almost never against sanctions. Only if it's like politically sanctions or war will you ever hear me go, all right, sanctions. Because, you know, the strong men that lead these countries, when those sanctions hit, they extract what's needed to continue their lifestyle from the people.
Or North Korea also, like, enslaves their people and makes them go work in other countries.
Yeah.
And takes all their money.
Yep. Literally, their paycheck just goes straight to North Korea. They get paid nothing. Countries like there are European countries that use these labor camps of Northfield. Like I think it was it France? This was years ago. This was like 8 years ago. France. There was a big hullabaloo because France was caught running like 3 or 4 of these North Korean like
I hadn't heard of
immigrant
it,
camps
so.
or something. I mean, I don't think the government itself was 100% in on it, but France caught heat. I think, or it was one Europe. I can't remember which European country. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was France. And there were just North Korean workers there, and they found out that these camps, that's exactly what's going on. The people are paid. That money never touches their hands. They go directly back to the government.
I guess the argument for sanctions would be like it keeps them in this perpetual state of desperation so that they might be more flexible to not escalate it.
Well, I mean, like what? So you're talking about the sanctions?
Yeah.
So what? From my understanding, the idea of the sanctions is you're trying to force the populace to revolt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's literally, and they know it. It's like they talk about economic sanctions. Oh, we seized this bank account. We froze this. And we froze this money and stuff. Dude, do you think that like Putin, when that happens, goes like, well, shit, comrade, I guess I must sell this $1 billion mansion and my yacht because I can't make ends meet no more. No. He just extracts that fucking value out of the people and keeps living how he is. So the sanctions are not aimed at the leadership. The sanctions are aimed at the people. And the idea is food insecurity, violence.
I think what they've like been trying to do, like I'm just like making the devil's argument or whatever. Or the devil's advocacy is like, oh well, they have to ask for aid sometimes, so that brings them back to the table because their people are so starving.
Yeah. But the sanctions against North Korea are against aid. It's like normal.
But I mean, like there have been several times in recent years where
they've asked. And someone has
aid.
sent some aid from somewhere. Yeah. China sends aid constantly, but not enough. China's got its own fucking business to deal with. You know?
So it's like it maybe brings them to the table sometimes, but not enough to account for all the human suffering that's causing.
And it really doesn't bring them to the table.
Yeah. It occasionally they might do some very small concession briefly to
well, usually it gets watered down over time.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what we want this strong man to do.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half of sanctions, he comes to the table and he does 1/10 of it. Because by that time, you know, tempers have cooled and the American electorate doesn't even remember it anymore. And it's just... And really the only people that suffered in there are the people that live in Kazakhstan or wherever else we're sanctioning, right? Mm-hmm. It's the average blue-collar people, the old, the young, the very old, the very young, and just average working people. In that order. That's the suffering pyramid. At the top, the very old. Right below them, the very young. And then everybody else. And that just seems cruel. It's like, let's rob babies and old people of food to make these guys reconsider their economic policy. It's like... That's why I don't support this shit. That's why I don't support this, like, colonialist attitude that we can just jerk the chain on any fucking country anytime we want. I just don't like it. My brain doesn't have a facility for that. So what should America... give additional help the poor countries? After all, America is a superpower. Well, that's what we do. I mean, you understand that America's got billions of dollars of foreign aid that go out every fucking year. Billions upon billions. You know, so like America does do that. America does put its footprint in these countries that need help.
But the poverty caused by sanctions wouldn't need economic aid if we just allowed other countries to trade with them.
Well, the economic aid, that's the point. Yeah. Sanctions are removal of economic aid.
Yeah. and access to other nations doing commerce with them.
Yep. Because when you put sanctions on North Korea, you're not just saying we're not giving you money. We're saying like, hey,
All our allies
if you're an
can't.
ally of ours, you better not help them.
Yeah.
Because then you're in trouble with us.
Yeah.
So it's basically just strong arming the world into starving out a population. And I just can't.
I think they could function if they just were able to connect to the world economy and like get the fertilizer they need to.
If they were able to
their fallow fields and stuff.
If they were able to but see, a lot of that is on them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they were able to somewhat normalize relations with the West and open their economy, their people would be fine. Even if Kim Jong-un kept the lion's share, like he would, the infusion of capital and economic development into that country would improve everybody's lives. Everybody's. Give them access to imported food and all this shit.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer and all the things they would need to turn what little arable land there is up north. Because one of the problems, as I understand it, is that South Korea, right? South Korea is the breadbasket. Yeah. North Korea is the industry and the mining and the... So it's like...
It wasn't meant to be self-sustaining.
No, it wasn't. It was never meant to be divided.
Yeah.
It worked as a Korean peninsula.
Yeah.
Because everything that you needed to keep a population going was there. You got the industry, you got the food, you got everything you need. It's a breadbasket.
But yeah, it'd be like asking fucking Alaska to support itself or something.
Yeah.
Or Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be, I mean, we do it all the time. We sanction these countries all the time. When their government is doing something that we don't agree with, an economic thing or a military thing, or sometimes it's even because they're treating their people poorly. Mm-hmm. And it's like, here, let me give you the impetus to starve them in addition to treating them poorly. Mm-hmm. It's like,
On certain kinds of jobs, you get training to not accidentally do business with people from those countries.
Right. You have to understand, like, the United States being, what we call it, right now, at least, the most powerful nation in the world. The most economically impactful nation in the world. We wield that like a weapon. Like it's like war without war. When we go to a small country that is reliant, maybe not directly on us, but on our allies, and we go, hey, you better shape up your shit, or we're gonna starve you. We wield it like a spear against these countries. It's every bit a weapon as much as a bomb is. It does every bit as much damage as a shipment of bombs do. And, I'm anti-war, I'm anti-interventionalist, I'm anti-colonialist, I'm anti-nationalist, And I just can't find room in my ideology for shit like that. I can't justify it. I can't justify starving a group of people who had no choice where they were born to get back at a dude.
That can't even escape either.
They can't go anywhere. They can't do anything. Yeah. Had no choice where they were born, have no choice the regime they live under. Let's starve those people to get back at this dude because he's economically screwing around. It's like, yuck. Yep, free Palestine. I'm starting to get sick of people with their two-state solution shit. Yeah. This two-state solution shit is a meme. It's never going to happen. Israel will never allow that to happen. So we have to take it out of Israel's hands. A blended state, a one-state solution with a blended coalition government and a fucking international peacekeeping force until they can handle their shit.
Well, it's like the same issue as like North Korea, South Korea. Like, Palestine's been so decimated that they would have a hard time supporting themselves all by themselves.
It's over. One state solution or shut your yap at this point. We have more than the power doesn't even come into play. If the United Nations decided to set up we've done it before. We did it in Iraq.
And well,
When
Germany too, like that. We
Yeah.
took over Germany and forced them to fucking.
Yep. The most recent example though is Afghanistan and Iraq. We toppled their governments, put a American-friendly, American-controlled coalition government in place, and the idea was, let's get them on their feet and get a constitution for them that can kind of guide their shit, and then when they're ready to do their own thing, we step back, at least visibly, right? That's the only thing that's going to work in this area. This two-state solution shit is a fucking fantasy, and anybody that says it at this point, I think, is really unserious about actually solving this. One-state solution. The regime in Israel has to be toppled and replaced with an elected, internationally observed coalition government. There needs to be an internationally mediated constitution of this new Israeli-Palestinian blended state. There need to be UN peacekeepers on the ground to stop sectarian violence. And after about 5 or 10, 20 years maybe, when this country is finally ready to put its past behind it and treat one another like human beings in a blended state with a coalition government, we step back. That's the only way this ends. Every other solution is just kick the can down the road so that they can devastate Palestine 10 years from now.
Well, because like they've been the two states for a long time. And
well, they haven't. That's the thing. It's not. Palestine is not technically.
Well, it's not recognized
exactly.
as a state.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been a two-state. It never will be a two-state. As soon as they recognize Palestine as a independent state, the first time they break their dick off in them, the Arab world is going to rise up. So they have to be like in this legal quasi status.
Yeah.
The two-state solution is complete fantasy. A one-state solution is not. We've got historical examples of nation building. I'm not even a fan of this type of shit. But it's like America owns Israel. We own that. We're the only thing keeping that propped up. So it's incumbent on us to decide what's best for them. Because without us, they wither. They're like our child state.
Well, there would be no Israel if...
literally, if America said, okay, you know what? No more aid ever. You're no longer on our fucking radar. You're on your own. Good luck. Israel would be gone in a fortnight. So we own them. They're our little bastard child over there. And they've been acting foul. And it's time for us to jerk the chain.
Was built too. Like, Israel didn't just make its own nation. It was designated.
The very action that I'm talking about, the nation building action, is exactly how Israel was made.
Yeah.
So it worked to establish their state. It can work to blend it. And that's it. Who is this Redditor? A dude that's about to watch one of his wrenches ban your bitch ass up out of his shit. Your goofy drive-by skibbity nonsense ain't welcome up in here, bitch. We're having an adult conversation up in here, and that'll be that. That'll be that for you.
Triple
tapped. Triple tapped. Right in the back of the head, just to make sure. Cacao. You have a very skewed sense of the reality in Israel. In what way? It's very easy to type something like that out. In what way? I'm not even thinking from the standpoint of an Israeli. I'm thinking from the standpoint of an American who my whole life, my money has gone to finance bombs to be dropped on the brown people in Palestine. I want that to end. And I'm talking about ending that. I give a fuck about the people of Israel and their autonomy. You think I give a fuck about them? Mm-mm. No. They don't have autonomy. Okay, their autonomy doesn't exist. I finance their autonomy. And they use that money to commit atrocity after atrocity after atrocity after atrocity. Period. That's all I fucking care about. Ending that. We love the long arm of economic law. Let's use it. Let's use it in a way that actually stops a slaughter for once. Blend that state up. Now we got a permanent state with some level of friendly relations with the Arab states it's near, because it's got an Arab population that isn't being fucking murdered in the streets. They can handle their own business. They've got a constitution that prevents sectarianism, and we step back. That's my solution. Until they can run their shit, we run it. And when I say we, I mean the UN. UN peacekeeping force, UN-backed coalition government to establish the Constitution and get the fucking country on its feet, rebuild after the war. Yeah, peace does not increase shareholder profits, especially in, you know, Boeing and fucking Raytheon and Northrop Grumman. Yeah, those stocks go down at peacetime, so we can't do that. Do you think the brown people are going to agree with that? I think nobody over there will agree with it. They won't have a choice. Us trying to get them to agree with our prescriptions is the reason why it's been a fucking death zone for 70 years plus. Waiting for their leadership and their people and their sectarian ideas to figure out how to live together is why we've got a hornet's nest over there. So they don't get a choice. You don't want to live here anymore? Get the fuck out. But this is a blended state now. You've got rights and the Jews have rights, and there ain't nobody that can tell us any different. You hang around long enough and you let people live in peace long enough, and it's going to be the new norm. That's how you nation build. Man. Typing in caps up in here is not going to get me to notice or read your comment. It's just going to get you shit banned out. There is no excuse for that garbage. Fucking up my feed. Get it out. Type like an adult. Use complete sentences. Talk about what we're talking about, or get nuked. This is not a child skibbity bop bop fest. Okay, you want that? Scroll up. I'm sure the next person's probably playing Fortnite. That's where you belong. We're having a talk. This is adults having a talk. Someone who grew up in Northern Ireland, both states have to be tired of the fight before the blended state can arrive. Yeah, well, part of the way that a blended state would tire them out is that UN peacekeeping force is not going to allow your sectarian shit, your little enclaves of counterterrorism and terrorism and shit, to keep sniping at each other. A UN peacekeeping force is going to find out who's leading these movements and cut the head off the chicken. That's the point of a peacekeeping force. You send in a group of fucking soldiers, internationally funded soldiers, to protect the government and to protect the populace from sectarian violence. And to keep the fucking rebuilding effort swimming along, keep people off of each other's throats until that coalition government has a chance to establish. That's the whole point. Being childless made you a bitter old man. Dude, you breeders are so mad that I don't have kids, bro. I'm sorry that you squirted a nut up in some chick's guts and now you've got an 18-year, $1 million problem on your hands. I'm sorry that happened to you in your life, bro. But don't hate. Don't hate me because I made the right fucking call, okay? Dude, people that have kids are so miserable, bro. It's just like the misery is palpable when I see them. They're just bedraggled, bro. They're bedraggled. And when they see somebody living without that bedragglement, like, my money's freed up, bro. I do what I want. You know, I ain't rich, but I don't have to worry about school clothes and pencils, doctor's appointments, and bullshit for a fucking litter of kids. Not all of them. Some of them understand that's what they chose, but a lot of people get bitter, bro. They get super duper ultra bitter. Like they don't want to hear your feedback on how they're parenting, and they get real fucking defensive. And if you don't have a kid, they'll find a reason to hate you. They'll find a reason. They'll find a reason to hate your guts. Because you know what? When they close their eyes, they imagine reality. You kicking back instead of fucking running around cleaning up shit stains on the floor. You fucking like going like, hey babe, you want to take an impromptu vacation, and just leaving that night. And not having to worry about getting a babysitter or packing up a bunch of fucking car seats and shit. You know what I mean? You feel me? I have plenty of friends that are bitter because they had kids, and oh yeah, dude. It just oozes out of people's pores sometimes. And some people not. I'm not saying, like, some parents were meant to be fucking parents. They understand their lot in life, and they actually look at you and go like, man, you're kind of missing out because I love this. There's some people that are doing a great job. They were meant to be parents. They've figured out how to make their life about that. But I see so many people just harried and haggard and annoyed by their children. And those types of people tend to develop a heavy bitterness towards people that aren't tied down in the same way. It sucks. I'm thinking I'll be pretty good at it. Well, you won't know till you know, Phoebes. You know? I'll tell you this, you'll do your best. And that's all that can be asked of you. You know? Oh boy, you're so beautiful. You're a little like, Brand, you're a teenager, is what you are. The little scrub jay over here with his gray vest is so fluffy. Your gray vest is so handsome. And still fledgling fluffy. Because you're a baby bird. Yeah. You're a predator, though. You're a T-Rex. Let's see if I can get him. He'll probably fucking fly away as soon as I try. Here he is. Scrub Jay, look at that little fledgling vest he's got on. Here, hold on. Let me try and hold this against something so my hand's shaking around. Yeah, you see his little gray vest of like floofy feathers there in the front. So this is like, I don't know what you'd call him. I guess he's not a fledgling anymore because he's got his feathers, but his gray vest is so new, and his blue is so vibrant too. So he's not been around a lot. He's a teenager birdie. He's a teenager birdie, and he's very cute. I'm fascinated with these little things, man. These little birds, they're so adorable. Fascinating to watch. Look at them. It's like, man, dinosaur behavior, man. Dinosaur behavior for sure. So cool, man. I fucking love birds, bro. I'm a bird fan. I like me some birds. That's a scrub jay. You can look them up. They're native to the Central Valley where I live. They're related. They're like a subspecies of blue jay, basically. And then that being a species of jays in general, right? Bazinga burb. To bugs, the dinosaurs never went extinct. I know. It's still the same world for them. Oh yeah, dude. Hummingbirds. I mean, like, where I'm going, the climate is milder and Hummers are more popular. And so, like, I'm getting some big hummingbird feeders. They're gonna be all over the dude. I want colonies of Hummers. I want a bird feeder. I want a bird bath. You know what I mean? I want to set up an environment where burbs like to come so I can look at them.
We should go to the vet tomorrow.
The vet?
Yep.
Oh no.
You gotta get those vaccines.
You gotta get poked
Yep.
and checked on and examined. They're not gonna put it in your butt, are they?
No.
They won't do that, at least.
They only do that if they're real sick. They'll be okay.
I was never planning on doing a parody ghost hunting channel. I was just...
You just like putting out concepts.
Yeah, I was spinning the bit, dude. I was spinning the bit.
You know how many crazy show ideas Paul has voiced?
Constant. You know, sometimes some ideas from that work their way into the reality world, but most of the time it's just me spitballing, man. I honestly think, and this is going to sound fucking weird, but I honestly think that there's going to be a burgeoning market of people that are like video and content creation gurus. People that have been, like, I could be one, is what I'm saying. Not because I'm the most technically proficient person editing or anything, not because I have some sort of insider knowledge, but because I've been doing it for so long, I understand how to adapt to the trends, how to make sure that your content is safe, how to make sure that you're not making content that's not filling a niche, how to make sure that your content isn't directly competing with something that's bigger and better. You know, all that stuff. It's like people will hire people to be like coaches for businesses and stuff. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be the most successful person to coach.
Well, my success is written in my... It's not necessarily a money. My success is written in how long I've been doing this.
And you're still making a living. It's not like...
No, I'm making a good living.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I would be making a better living if thousands of people were paying me for seminars and stuff. But I'm telling you, there's already people doing this. But I think that because so many people from the late millennials, early Zoomers, this is what they want to do.
Yeah. I think some of them also need to be told, like, if they're not cut out for it, they're not cut out for it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think I want to, like, I'm not saying I want to do this at all, but I'm saying, like, people that do these self-help things, they're not there to critique you. They're there to give you knowledge and workshop you so that you, at the very least, have a baseline of knowledge. Now, your talent notwithstanding. Because I might look at somebody and go like, this ain't for you. And then that person ends up blowing up huge, you know? Like, I would never want to judge somebody who's just starting out. It's like acting.
Yeah.
When I was a young actor, first starting to do actual adult script work and stuff, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what the protocol was. I didn't know stage left from stage right, upstage from downstage. You know what I mean? I didn't know how it worked, how rehearsals worked. But my teacher didn't go like, this ain't for you, because I wasn't picking up on every little thing, or I wasn't the best script reader.
But she saw a spark in you, is what I'm saying.
Well, she saw a spark in every kid.
Yeah.
Every kid, though. That's the thing. She might have seen more in me or more in this kid than... But that's part of it, right? So maybe that's what it would be. Like, during this seminar, if I saw somebody that looks like, man, they've got talent coming out of their ears, they're just confused. Maybe I fucking give a little side time to that person and give them a little extra encouragement, or give them my email address and we go back and forth and I help them a little more, right? And develop a contact in the business that I can then go like, look at these channels that have benefited. Because I know my shit. Like, when it comes to this, I've been doing that my credentials in this business are just written on the face of the length of time that I've done it. Almost a decade of gainful employment where 100% of what I did was YouTube. Podcasting, streaming.
Your entire living was based on that.
Yeah.
No side hustles.
10 years.
Yeah.
Right? For over a decade. I've been living the dream. I'm a content creator, and I can help you understand the fundamentals so that you're not just one of the mindless hordes of people breaking up against the YouTube algorithm and falling off.
Yeah.
Here's some tips you can do. Here's how you have to fucking present your channel. Here's networking tips. Meet people, join their discords, seek out collaboration, you know what I mean? Like, all these things seem like obvious, but it's a lot of little anecdotes. It's not the one little thing here and there that makes it valuable. It's the bundle of it.
Do you think it's chance, the ones that get super duper big, or do you think...
Never.
No.
Never, never, never. That's one thing I learned here on YouTube. Everything's deliberate. The people that got huge set out to get huge, and they failed. If you look at the history, like Mr. Beast, if you listen to him talk about when he started up on YouTube, he had nobody watching him. He was a failure. He lost money dumping it into his channel and shit, but he had a vision. And he was, instead of going like, 'cause here's what happens to most people. They go, I want to do this. I want to be a podcaster. I want to be a content creator. Everybody's always told me I talk well. Everybody's always told me I'm funny. I got a good voice. I'm talented, whatever. They do it. They start a channel. They don't promote it. They don't do any algorithmic gaming. They don't do any networking. They spend 2, 3, 4 months making videos that garner maybe 10 views, and then they quit. That is 90%, I believe, of people that think they want to do this. And I can't guarantee that you won't be one of those, but I can guarantee that if you aren't one of those, if you're a big channel or even a person like me, at a certain point in your career, everything was deliberate. You tried to get successful, and you learned from the things you did that hurt your success, and you watched other people in network and learned the things that they did that helped their success, and you emulated and you created. You set a boundary around yourself, like, hey, I do this kind of content, but you can only get this from me. You might be able to listen to 10 people talk about Hillary Clinton, but you can only laugh as hard as you laugh with me. You can only get the whatever, you know what I mean? You have to be something that isn't the same as, because like so many people, I see so many people who, and emulation is good at first, who are like, oh, Jim Can't Swim is popular. Let me start a fucking channel where I do these true crime breakdowns. But imitation is what happens, not emulation. Emulation means you do what they do for a while, you figure out what you want to do in that context, and you use that knowledge that you've gained emulating to bust out into your own thing. But imitation never blows up. It just doesn't. Emulation blows up constantly because it's progressive, like all art is. It's not progressive politically. I'm talking about like moves ahead. It permutates on itself. It changes the rules constantly.
I would still say that there's some chance factors.
Sure, right place, right time, all of that. But you know what? I don't see much chance, though, honestly, when I look back over the balance of my online career. It was not chance that
I'm talking about like the mega channels, is what I'm saying.
Why nobody's going to be able to tell you you're going to be a mega channel, right? Mega channels were once normal channels that blew the fuck up, right? Was there chance involved in them stepping up from a level of success to a level of ultra success? Maybe. But that's not what I would ever sell to people. I would sell to people like, look, dude, I'm not a millionaire. I don't drive a Bentley. I don't make, a ton of money, but I make enough money to live a really decent lifestyle, and all I do is stream. All I do is YouTube for 10 years. your car is fantastic. I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. I am not a rich guy, but I ain't poor. I ain't rich yet, but you know I ain't broke. See that at the store, and I buy that from the store.
Yeah, we're solidly middle class.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
save money.
Yeah, we're
we
middle
can
class.
do vacations. We can do
Last minute expenditures are not something we have to rub our hands about. If one of us has a medical bill that pops up, we're okay. If one of us has an unexpected fucking thing that pops up, we're okay. If we decide we wanted, like, here's the thing. If Amelia and I decided we wanted to go on a vacation right now today, we could just, like, literally pack our shit, pack up our animals, and go.
It wouldn't be smart, but
No, but I mean, we could.
Yeah.
Like, we have the ability to do whatever we want. I mean, so that makes us solidly middle class, and in my mind, wealthy. Wealthy.
Yeah, at the very least, upper middle class. Like, our biggest ceiling is like we can't just buy the house across the street.
No, we're solidly middle class.
Yeah.
We're suffering from the same shit that other middle class people are. We're just in a better position than a lot of them because, number one, we own our own business. Number two, we don't have children. We're not saddled with the $1 million investment per kid that we've got to somehow figure out and still make it work.
Like, taking these boys to the vet, it's gonna be, probably a few $100 for all the vaccines and all that shit, but that's cheaper than, like, school supplies and childcare, transportation, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, keeping a dog or a cat is nowhere near like keeping a human being.
Yeah, unless you just have, like, the sickliest pet ever.
Or you're just rich and you pamper your pet like it's a fucking queen or something. Yeah. The idea of being the next Mr. Beast. Yeah, I would never put that in anybody's head. You could, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, I probably wouldn't make this a part of the presentation or whatever, but when you get a medium-sized channel, you don't know what's going to blow. You don't know what's going to break. Yeah, you don't know who's going to see what and who's going to cover what and how it's going to bounce back to you, and then all of a sudden, you got 1 million subscribers, and your shit is growing. And how you ride that wave determines whether or not you get big or huge.
Yeah, because there's definitely a lot of channels out there where, like, maybe one video will blow up, but they didn't capitalize on it.
It's like with the Mr. Beast thing. Yeah. You go, like, do you think there's an element of luck? The reason I kind of, like, said no is because if you look at what he did, when he got his first pop, he didn't just go like, ooh, I'm just going to do that over and over again. He reinvested a bunch of that money back into the channel and did different shit. Yeah. He was constantly at the driver's seat going, I want more success. This didn't work, but this did. Boom.
Yeah. I imagine say, like, the springboard to the first big pop is chance-ish.
Maybe. Was it chance that he had positioned himself to take advantage of the type of content that he makes?
No, I'm just saying that first algorithmic fucking jewel.
But the algorithm is gameable, though, to an extent.
But it's not consistent.
No, but it's gameable. It wasn't consistent when Jimmy started that channel. Yeah. He gamed it. One of the things that he did that's brilliant, that made him a fucking billionaire, honestly, he started translating his videos into every fucking language, started a new channel, Mr. Beast Kazakh, Mr. Beast China, Mr. Beast, and he hires people to speak, to, like, do voiceover tracks, or at the very least, full, perfect subtitles in the language that and every one of those channels is like a mirror channel that he owns. So it just spins his revenue 90 times. That's brilliant. That's not luck. That's just looking at, okay, I'm an American guy doing American style videos, but this whole, like, India, it's exploding over there. China, it's exploding over there. It's like, nobody can watch my videos.
But like, on the flip side, though, like, you being as experienced as you are and as knowledgeable as you are, you've hit an algorithmic wall.
I've hit an algorithmic wall that allows me to, in perpetuity, make a great living. Yeah. Most people would kill for that. If I told you, you're probably not going to be Jimmy Mr. Beast rich, but you can make 6 figures being a podcaster pretty easy. I don't think that's untrue. But you have to know how to game the algorithm, and you have to be adaptable. YouTube changes its bullshit, its rules, the algorithm. Like right now, this is gold. You print, like if I was starting a new channel, you print subscribers off of this. You do. As long as you're charismatic and you're running something that isn't repellent to people, right? I'm not even really trying to build this channel, and I'm almost at 10K subscribers on this channel, up from like 2.5, 3K, I think, when I started fucking around with it. It's just a side channel I had. And I've just accidentally built up 10K subscribers. That's a huge deal. That's a milestone subscriber number. It's not, for me, it's not a huge deal, but. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think about it sometimes and I'm just like, man, the more, because I thought it was going to be like kind of like a blip on the radar back in I think it was 2015 on on DP. We covered this, like, it was a big news thing that got passed around. It was like, you know, here's what Gen Z wants to be, or here's what late millennials want to be. You know what I mean? And like back in my day, the most popular answer amongst boys was an astronaut. And amongst girls, it was like a beautician or something. I can't remember what it was. It might have been girls too, astronaut. Like it was very like kids had shot high. You know what I mean? And had big aspirations that were going to require a lot of school and dedication and shit. Now kids, they want to be fucking I Show Speed. They want to be Kai Cenat or Aiden Ross. They want to make $1 billion, sit up in a mansion, and go, yo, 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 that's wild, chat. That's wild, chat. Y'all are wildin', chat. Chat wildin', chat. Chat, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to make fun of those guys. Those guys are funny. They're kids entertainers, and they're talented, and they know what they're doing. I'm just saying, like, everybody thinks that they can just do that. Like, I'm going to be Kai Cenat. I'm just going to turn on a thing, sitting in my fucking dingy room, and I'm going to go, yo, wow. Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't emulate that. You can't imitate that. You got to have your own thing. You know, so it's deceptive. That's why, like, you don't. I'll shit talk other content creators, but when it comes down to brass tacks, like Aiden Ross could buy and sell my ashy ass fucking 10 times over. You know what I mean? Any one of those dudes could buy and sell my ass. So do with that what you will. Well, but see, that's true of a lot of stuff now. I agree with you. The appeal is you can start it on your own and it doesn't cost fucking 25, 30 grand, let alone $200,000 to get started like a business, right? I get you. But the same is true of so many other things now that didn't used to be true. Movies, self-producing music. You've got more options to create clean sounding music now than you ever had when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. Are you fucking kidding me? You know how much money it took to get the kind of fucking digital ADAT shit that you needed to record a big full sounding track? Now you can just get Fruity Loops and fucking go nuts. Movies, cameras, high quality 4K stabilizer fucking handy cams are cheaper than they ever have been. Couple grand will get you a nice one. Fuck, they shoot all movies on iPhone. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I think people, like, limit themselves when they go, like, oh, I want to be, like, a podcaster. It's like, why don't you just be a movie maker or a fucking musician or something? Like, I'm not trying to hate on what I do, but it's not, like, the most artistic fucking expressive thing, you know? It's not the coolest thing to just sit here and smoke cigarettes and talk shit. It's cool that I can make money doing that, but go make a fucking album, bro. Make a movie. Become an animator. You know, do something fucking creative and fun that feeds your soul, man. Don't get fed into business and money changing and all that shit. You know, unless that's what you really want. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to go into. If that's what feeds your soul, then get it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're in that, if you have that mindset, you're like young, you're like, damn, dude, I want to quit this dead end job and be a podcaster. It's like, don't just limit yourself to podcaster. I want to do something creative. Like, I want to build things with my hands, or I want to fucking write scripts, or do it, man. Do it. You got a better chance now than you ever have of making something that makes you some money. Yeah. I saw Alien, and I pretty much agreed with your assessment that there were no characters in it. I did think that some of the action and like the special effects were okay, but there was one egregious special effect that ruined it for me. It was like the what was it, Ian Holm or Ian McHolm? I think it's just Ian Holm, right? Where they resurrected him and brought him back and did that horrible CG de-aging of his fucking face. Oh my god, bro. It just looked bad. It looked worse than I've seen in a long time. And I was like, how did this get in the movie? Why didn't they just hire another person to be the android? It was all for fan service. He was the same model android as the one that fucking freaked out on the Nostromo. Ooh, fan service. And because of that, you get this, like, Ian Holm would spin in his grave looking at how fucking ridiculous it looked. So, yeah, good special effects for like 80% of the movie, bad for 20. No fucking characters. The whole world building of the movie was basically just stealing shit from Alien 1, 2, 3, 4, Prometheus, and Covenant. And like doing like fan service shit. The character development was literally non-existent. I can't remember a single character's name other than the robot, Andy. He was the only character that had any kind of motivations or anything. Everybody else was just there. They were literally just model hot people dropped into the fucking middle of the movie to get killed by aliens. That's all they were. It's fucking... But it was better, in my opinion, than Covenant and Prometheus. So right now, and I did this last night, here's my Alien tier list from top to bottom. Okay, you ready? Aliens, number 1. Alien, number 2. Alien 3, number 3. And now, Alien Romulus, number 4. Then it's Prometheus, number 5. Then it's Alien Resurrection, number 6. Then it's Covenant, number 7. Oh. Well, there went my coffee mug. It's okay. It wasn't one of my cool ones. It was just one of the fucking extra ones we had. Coffee mug. Yep, party foul, bro. Rip coffee mug. Oh, well. No, it wasn't one of my cool mugs. Don't worry. It was like this little orange mug. Look. This guy. It's a regular old mug. I only clipped it with my fingernail when I gesticulated, too. It just, like, I hit me right here on the fucking back of this fingernail. It went pink. And that was enough to fucking... See, that is why Amelia always says, like... Because I'll, like, accidentally brush up against her, and I'll go, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she'll go, like, you're always so worried that you're, like, you know, accidentally being rough and stuff. And she's like, you never are. That's why, bro. Dude, I have an oafish nature. I could accidentally, like, wheel around and whack you in the face, step on your foot all hard and shit. Yeah, I blame Romulus. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Alien Romulus owes me a cup. Romulus owes me a cup. Okay? That was on that movie. So, yeah, it's hard to be excited because the 4th best Alien movie was released. You know, that doesn't really... Kind of makes you just want people to pour that creativity into just a new franchise. Create a new IP, you know? I don't know. Whatever. The CG blood was, well, yeah, that scene. I thought the concept of that scene was cool, but the CG acid blood swirl scene, that was pretty bad. There was a lot of practical work in this. There was a lot of good practical face hugger work. There was a lot of good practical xenomorphs. There was a lot of great practical set building. The problem is that it was all the only glue holding it together was fan service. It was like I don't know how into the Alien movies you are, Pranav, but if you really look at Romulus, pretty much every set piece on the space station, like once they're off the planet, which is like the first 10 minutes of the movie, on the ship that they fly in the space station, it's ripped from another Alien movie, right? You've got the stark white, super utilitarian, futuristic look of Alien 1 in certain rooms. You've got that dark, destroyed, decaying kind of colony look from Aliens. You've got that like dirty tunnels and access corridors from Alien 3. You've got the kind of like super high tech, high end rooms from Prometheus. You've got the secret research base rooms from Alien Resurrection with the jars of fucking face huggers and then this and then that. You've got the alien hallways and stuff from Covenant, right? And that dark kind of like atmosphere on the planet. Like they basically just didn't world build. They just took chunks that are identifiable from other movies and put them all together in a really like the craftsmen behind it, the people that built those sets and designed them. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's anything inspired about them. There isn't. It didn't suck. It was mid. Okay? I just got done telling people that it is now the 4th best Alien movie, and it's hard to get excited about that. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's a slapdash kind of plot. The characters don't really matter at all. And really, it's just surfing on nostalgia about better Alien films. And for that, it's the 4th best Alien film. Congrats. You know what I mean? Like, it was just blah, mid. I'm hypercritical because it's my favorite fucking franchise, bro. Aliens is my favorite movie of all time. Okay? So, kind of hard to get jazzed about the 4th best Alien film. I just can't do it. Yeah, me too, dude. Sincerely, me too. I don't remember a single name. I walked through it last night because we had just watched it with Amelia. I was like, what was this person's motivation? And she would blurt out the most simplistic shit. They're mad about being a minor and want to escape. What's this person's situation? They want to protect their sister. What's this person's motivation? They want to protect the robot. What's this? You know what I mean? It's literally just like zero character development. It was garbage. Garbo. Garbo writing. Like the fucking android kills an alien towards the end and says, get away from her, you bitch. And it's like, what else needs to be said? Come out, baby. After you. After you, fuzzy little gentleman, you. All right. Alien spoilers time. You ready? I'm going to tell you what I know about the one character in the movie that has any character development. I want to point this out in a spoilery way because I need for you to understand how underdeveloped the characters in this game are, or in this movie, and how little there is to care about, okay? So, Andy, the autistic robot. Andy is a synthetic played by a black gentleman who is the brother of the main character chick. Her dad found Andy, a decommissioned robot, all busted up, and he fixed him up, but something got messed up in his head, and it made him autistic. They don't say he's autistic, but clearly that's what he's supposed to be portraying. It's like, you know, kind of like higher end of, like, low-functioning autistic, right? He's got a good heart. His heart is in the right place, but he can't walk. He can't look people in the eye. He's very, like, he can't read the room, right? He's an autistic robot, right? They get onto this fucking secret space station that's been abandoned that they discover, and they discover another robot, another dead automaton guy, and she takes out this chip out of that guy's head and puts it into the autistic robot's head, and it fixes the problems with him. It makes him not autistic no more. But the problem is now that he's not autistic, he's also got a new directive: do what's best for the company. So he turns into a pseudo bad guy for a little while. Then he becomes a good guy again because he gets tistic again. Okay? That's the number one character arc in this film, and it's the only one that you'll remember. Yeah, the opening, I actually was like cautiously optimistic at the opening, but they leave that piece of world building behind so quick. It was like, oh, cool, this takes place on, you know, a Wayland-Yutani company town mining colony on some backwater planet where the sun never shines, and people are just living in the company town and buying, you know, shit with company script and paying off debt with labor and all this shit. It's like, you know, hyper-capitalist nightmare. Cool. And then they're only in it for like one scene, and then they're on the Romulus station, which is the aforementioned blending of every alien movie that came before it for fan service reasons. Yeah. There were some cool moments in the beginning, like the setup. I felt like I was like, whoa, there might be something here. I'm liking this Wayland-Yutani company town. I'm liking this. But you only get it for a scene or two. And one of those scenes feels like it's ripped right out of Ready Player One, by the way. You know which one I'm talking about, when she goes to visit her friends and hears about the plan to hijack the space station or whatever. The people are literally living in fucking cargo containers converted into housing units stacked on each other and shit. So it's just like, even that piece of world building was functionally just ripped off of Ready Player One. Oh my God, dude, I was like, subtitles please at the beginning. Two of the dudes in it, that's all I know about them, is that they're two of the dudes in it, have such thick Cockney shit that at the beginning I had a hard time understanding a fucking syllable of what they were saying. And I'm usually pretty good at that. Like, thick accent. Hey, fucking that's a we going to take the ball. Hey, watch your mouth, eh? I fucking get to take it. You know, I'm just like, fucking subs on. Hello? Can we turn the subs on? garbage, bro. Something fucking water. Oh, fucking lot of shit, you fucking synth bastard. Get your fucking water, get your fucking piss off. Like, It's not just you, I'm British and I struggled. See what I mean? It was notably bad. I'm usually good. It's like, dude, I'll watch a Cockney ass movie. You know what I mean? Like Snatch or fucking Lock Stock. You know? I'll watch a Cockney ass movie and I don't need subtitles. I'll understand every goddamn fucking flibbity gibbet thing said. Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Yeah, Snatch is a great movie. Train Spotting, another Cockney ass fucking, not Cockney, that's a brogue. That's a Scottish brogue movie, but whatever. Same diff, right? Deep ass accent, heavy ass fucking accent use, but everybody can understand every word. And then I defy you to tell me the first three things that the two guys in Romulus say to each other. I defy you. Prey, the new Hellraiser. Yeah, I mean, there have been some relaunch, reboot, whatever you want to call them, that honestly haven't been bad, bro. You're right about that. But this one wasn't it. This wasn't it. Sorry, but this wasn't it, you know? What a waste of cash. I still enjoyed going to the movie. I love talking to my wife about movies. I love sitting with her and holding her hand and eating a big bucket of popcorn and kind of whispering funny things to each other. It's just a fun time for me, you know? So I don't regret going to see it. But yeah, a waste of money for them to make it. You know what I mean? Prey was aight. And Hellraiser was genuinely good. Not great, but good. I was like, whoa. A Hellraiser franchise that builds a little bit something new and doesn't just lean super heavily on nostalgia for the one or two good Hellraiser movies? Wow. Cool. You know? So that was good. That reboot was good. Dune, another great example of because that's a fucking reboot or a remake or whatever you want to call it of David Lynch's Dune. Dune is huge and great. Dude, I heard nothing good about Furiosa, bro. Nothing. Nothing good about it. Even TJ had nothing to say about it, basically. You liked it? Well, maybe I'll check it out when it, hits VOD or whatever, but dude, the fucking trailer just let me know, like, oh, this is going to be way more CG and way less practical, way less grand in scope. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want a downgraded fucking Fury Road. I want Frank Darabont to blow the doors off of Fury Road. Or not Frank Darabont. I always get him mixed up. Frank Miller. I want him to blow the doors off of it. Yeah, dude. See, that's the thing. Is like, dude, a 6.57 out of 10 movie is alright, but when it's in the shadow of a 10 out of 10, it makes it feel like, wow. So I paid the same amount of money or more probably to see this one in the movies, and it was about maybe 2/3, maybe half as good as the previous. It's like, I'm down with a popcorn movie. I would say this. Alien Romulus is a popcorn movie. If you don't really care about alien stuff and you just want to turn your brain off for a while and watch a big boomy, splody, running around, spooky dooky, alien shooty movie, you could do worse. You could do worse. It's a popcorn flick. But if you're a fan of the franchise, looking for something fresh and new out of it, something that's going to fucking titillate you for the future, you ain't going to get it. Didn't you say if it was even half as good, it would be amazing? Yeah, when it comes to Fury Road, half as good. If another movie of a different genre and style reaches the level of half as good as Fury Road, it's a pretty much classic film already. Like, you guys don't understand the reverence I have for the filmmaking in Fury Road. I think it is the single finest piece of cinema in terms of a filmmaking perspective that's ever been made. It is practical. The pacing is perfect. The casting is perfect. The writing is inspired. The setting is inspired. It's new. It's fresh. It's fun. It's cooler than shit. The CG just augments the awesome practical shit. It's not just glaringly in your face in every scene. You know what I mean? It is a brilliant masterclass of a movie. It might be the finest example of an action adventure film ever made. And that's like top of my genre, you know? Peak filmmaking, man. Peak. Name 5 characters from the movie. Okay, Immortan Joe, Max, Furiosa, Nuck, and Rictus. Next. The Bullet Farmer. Just one shot for Furiosa. He was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. Dildo, hildo, fildo, spildo, flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me. I gotta pick you guys up for a minute because the phone's starting to overheat. That sucks. That's how you can tell my fucking nice days are over. I think Furiosa only gets a bad rap because of how good Fury Road is. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being the case. But it should. It stands in the shadow of that. It's named after a character in that. If they didn't want it to stand in the shadow of one of the greatest films of all time, they shouldn't have named it Mad Max Furiosa or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? They should have just made a new thing. That's my critique. It's like the constant dumbing down of a franchise with sequels and reboots and stuff is creatively bankrupt at this point. It's to the point of being absurd. You know what I mean? It's to the point of being unwatchable. And yeah, making something half as good as Furiosa or half as good as Fury Road is great if it's another franchise. If it's another Fury Road movie, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Like, come up with a new idea, create a new franchise that I can be excited for, or get out of my face with the nostalgia bombing. That was the most offensive thing to me about Romulus, was how geared it was. Because I'm an Alien fan. I can pick apart those movies. I've done a big fucking long ass franchise review of them. I know those movies like the back of my ass. I've seen some of them dozens of times, and most of them over 5 or 6. You know what I mean? I know these fucking movies. But yeah, I don't know, man. The worst alien film of all time, in my opinion, is Alien Covenant. That movie is unwatchable garbage from start to fucking finish. It is insultingly bad. Insultingly garbage film. So it is at the bottom of the barrel. It doesn't get any lower than that. Only hovering just above that is Alien Resurrection or Alien 4. Then going back up, going up from that, hovering just above that is Prometheus. Then Romulus, then Alien 3, then Alien, then Aliens. That's the fucking tier list the other way now. Are you retired? No, I'll never retire. I own my own business. I do this for a living. People ask me all the time, like, what's your retirement plan? And I was like, dying. I'm a business owner, bro. I don't want to retire from my life. No thanks. Still talking about aliens, lol. Yeah. Well, you won't have to worry about it anymore because you're about to be banned. I talk about whatever the fuck I want here, homie. This is my house. I don't come in your backyard and tell you to stop talking about shit, do I? So get the fuck out of mine. You're out of the fucking barbecue because you don't know how to chill. That's the way it works. Consider this a backyard barbecue. Dude, it's not real. You're gone too. Ejected. Don't critique me in my own backyard, bro. This is my fucking house, homeboy. This is my barbecue. You will treat me as such. You will give me the fucking due and proper respect that you give a host. Or I'll kick your fucking ass out the party. You're too dumb to be here? Don't nobody want you here, bitch. If you're adding other people in my chat, you're going to get sniped. I'm just warning you right now. That's a rule around here. This is not a place for you to fucking chill and fucking hang out in the corner and have a conversation about shit I'm not talking about. You want that? Go hang out on Discord or some shit. Okay? Cool? You talk to me. You talk about what we're talking about. You add to the conversation. You participate, or you get the fuck out of my backyard. Dude, it's never a good cookout until somebody gets brolic and ejected out on the street, bro. Anybody that grew up doing cookouts, backyard barbecues, block parties and stuff knows the rules. You acting like an asshole, you will be thrown physically to the curb. Don't fuck around with the vibe. Don't do it. You fuck up the vibe, nobody wants your problems. Nobody wants your fucking lack of social awareness. Nobody wants it. Nobody's looking for it up in here. This is my backyard and my free time, and your ass is on point or out. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Exactly. Dude, I've seen people just physically lifted up and physically thrown into the street, and then just the door gets locked. And that person gets to find their way home. You think for a second a group of fucking people out in the real world is going to put up with your autistic nonsense? You're wrong. You will be banned. Stay the fuck up out my backyard if you don't like the rules. I don't come into your backyard and tell you how to run shit. I don't come in your house and piss on the rug. Don't do the same to me. Chill out, respect the vibe, follow the flow of conversation, or go skibbity find something else to do. Your antisocial nonsense is not funny, interesting, or fun. It's like those people at parties come up to a random group of people and change the subject. Yeah, right? It's like, read the room. And if you can't, you got no place here. Sorry. You can't, at the very least, learn to read this room, you ain't gonna last long up in here. You better get used to making alts, because your participation is on the line. Yeah, you don't come up in my fucking backyard and spit, piss all over my garden. Fuck you. Treat me with fucking respect. You're in my personal life right now. You're sitting in my fucking personal home, in my personal backyard. You treat me with motherfucking respect. I don't care that it's the internet, bitch. Respect the vibe. Or get out. Dude, there's one rule in here. Respect the vibe. Dude, make some potato salad. It's pretty easy. Do you have a garden in your backyard? No. I can show you guys the backyard. It's a pretty little backyard, but it's very standard. It's a small, I rent, and so here, oh, hold on, let me zoom in, zoom out. There we go. That's better. There's my little, I don't know what kind of tree this is, but beautiful pink blossoms all through the summer. And then, you know, here's my lawn. And there's another tree over there with the pink blossoms. There's my little mobile fire pit. And that's it, dude. I'm sitting here underneath an umbrella at a little table, you know. Very much. It's cozy, but you know what, dude? I hate to be a picky guy, but I grew up on like 12 acres of land. And my nearest neighbor required me to walk like 3-4 minutes to get to their house. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I've been chasing that my whole life. So being this crammed up against people, it's just like it triggers my paranoia and shit. I just don't like it. You know, I want to look out in my backyard and see trees. You know, I want to look to the left of my house and see land and land. You know, I don't want, it's not that I want to live like on a giant ranch or something. I just don't want neighbors right up my ass. I don't have to worry about that shit. See, I don't want acres that need tending to. That's the thing. I want to buy land in a place where just leaving the land wild and having my home not make a huge footprint in it. Yeah, keep it trimmed back away from the house so the fucking, you know, jungle doesn't grow, you know, the forest doesn't overtake. But yeah, dude, I don't want a yard. This manicured yard thing that I've got back here, I don't want that. I really don't. I do not want it. You know, I don't want the manicured front yard. I want a fucking normal, modest house that's on a piece of maybe an acre and a half of property, where I'm not sandwiched right up against a neighbor. And I've got, you know, the ability to do with that piece of property, in theory, what I want. My dream is to have like maybe a double wide house that we fix up on a piece of property. And then once we've got that done, my next move is to finance. Hopefully the property I have is zoned for a second building. Typically the type of property that we're looking at is pre-zoned for a second residence or industrial building. I want to put a single wide or maybe another double wide, depending if I can find one that's cheap, and have that be my studio. And I want to set up an environment that's entirely made for people to come collaborate with me and for me to go and work and do my job in. And all I need is the land. I've got everything else in place that I would need to do that. So it's like, well, I registered to vote for the first time since Obama's first term. Hey, good for you. Aren't those properties out in the middle of nowhere cheap? No property is cheap unless it's really in the middle of nowhere. And I can't, you know, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a pre-improved property that's already maybe got an old fucking ramshackle house on it, so I can get it for cheaper and then finance in a reno on the house to get it up to code, get a new roof on it if it needs it, redo the walls, maybe change the floor plan in there, bust down a wall, open up a space, make it a living space that me and Amelia like, right? Doesn't have to be fancy, just has to be functional. And then from there, you know, start building the idea of, see, a lot of these properties will have a big like garage or workshop that are just ripe for being renoed into the studio space that I'm talking about. Because what I want is like a space where, let's say I want to work with Andrew. I fly him out. He doesn't have to worry about getting a fucking hotel because he's got privacy. He's got his own pad at my place where all the creative shit is. You know what I mean? And the domicile area is chopped off. So if I'm in there working late at night, I'm not going to be keeping him up. But anytime he wants to work with me, I'm there. Anytime he feels like he wants to do some work and prep for work with me, it's there. You know what I mean? Same thing with the guys I work with now, right? Let's say TJ and I want to make some content. I fly him and Chelsea out. I put them up comfy in the studio building. And anytime TJ wants to make a piece of content, it's push button. You know, it's ready to roll. This is a plan for the near future, not a dream. Yeah, I'm on my way to this. I'm moving hopefully next month, but we'll see. This guy looks like he could roll a doobie with his feet while driving a semi. I probably could, honestly. I don't know how good the doobie would be, but I probably could get one rolled if you gave me enough time. I definitely could drive the semi, that's for sure. So that would be okay. It's the rolling with my feet. I don't think I've ever tried it. Okay, you're the man. I'm subscribing. Cool beans, brother. Thanks for the sub. You ain't got to join the chorus, D. That is your little friend. And sometimes she gets loud. You know what I mean, D? You know what I mean, bud? Come here. People need some Dinor in their life. People need a little Dinor. Let's get a yawn. Yes. Yes. Some booty scritches, maybe? Is that good? Yeah, the booty scritches are good. Some back scritches. Okay. Some neck scritches. Is that what? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some face. A little face. And then some chest rubs. Oh, yeah. Okay, good boy. Good boy. Thank you. You want to go inside? You want to go inside? Okay, let's go inside. You go inside. Go see Mama for a while. That's a good boy. Cuts like a knife, but it feels all right. Seems vaping is just different, bro. I'm an old school stoner, and I will tell you, dude, vaping will get you high, but it doesn't feel the same, doesn't hit the same, doesn't last as long. It just not, dude. It's not the same, bro. Flower like a J, dude. This, sir. 90% of the weed I've smoked in my life has been in this form, okay? Just a joint, man. Pot Talk Monday. Well, the pot talk in general is about to be over because it's starting to get hot out here. I think I agree with Dinor. It's not like scorching, but it ain't pleasant out here right now, guys. It ain't. I'm just letting you know it ain't. Oof. Oh, dude. Whew. Yep, I think I'm out. Have a good one, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.